Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 71 of our Get Your Goals annual challenge. This month we're focusing on our mental health, our mental well-being, and we're running through the SOAP framework. I don't grab my bars of soap very much this time. SOAP framework, SOAP, is our framework for dealing with challenges, setbacks, obstacles, improving any area, solving any problem that we want to in our life, to guarantee that we get the best possible outcome for us at the time, right? So we have a framework for that. We talked about the story, what's our current story versus our desired story. Yesterday we brainstormed options, and I brainstormed my options and circled the 3 that I'm going to analyze today, because we have to analyze the alternatives, or compare the options to one another before we can decide what to act on. We can just willy-nilly, randomly, chaotically act on things and just keep taking action, and we'll get results. Probably won't be the best results for us, but we'll at least be moving forward and overcoming inertia and getting results. I say, let's analyze those alternatives. Let's brainstorm alternatives, analyze those alternatives or those options, pick the one that's best for us, and immediately take an action on that. That's going to be our action item today. We're going to use a pros and cons tool today, because that's our idiom for today as well. Weighing the pros and cons, what's got more weight, what seems more likely to happen. So we visualized and we brainstormed to come up with our alternatives using I believe we used the mental rehearsals, rehearsing what would my life be like if I took this alternative, I did this alternative, and I played it out in my life. How do I think my results would look? Powerful tool, because it gives us the opportunity to practice or rehearse what we intend to see happen in our lives. And so guess what? By visualizing it, we help to create that. So I brainstormed a bunch of things, and today what we're going to do is look at the pros and cons of each of the 3 alternatives we selected. So, for example, maybe you select, and what do we want to do? Why do we want to do this? Number 1, so we make sure we're taking actions that are right for us, that feel right for us. Number 2, we want to make sure that it's in alignment with the goals and objectives we want. And my goal is to reduce my negative self-talk and simultaneously increase my positive self-talk, right? Because that will help me have more positive thoughts, and more positive thoughts will give me more positive results. And that's what I want in my life. That is in alignment with my goals. The second thing we want to do is check in with our preferences. As we're analyzing and doing pros and cons for each of these alternatives, we want to say, well, what feels right to me? What do I prefer? What am I most likely to actually take action on and do? Because there's some things that I could come up with that I'm like, yes, I should absolutely do this, but I'm like, but I don't want to. I don't want to do it. It doesn't feel like the right time for me, or I don't have the energy, or I just don't wanna. Sometimes we just don't wanna. We have to honor that we don't want to do things for a reason. Not always because it's hard, or for procrastinating and things. It's because it's not the right time for us to do that thing that we're resisting doing, right? Now, that doesn't apply to everything. We all resist stepping out of our comfort zone. We resist changing, but we can tell the difference between, hey, I'm resisting this change, or I really don't want to do this. There's something that's stopping me from doing this. And then the other thing we want to consider is, do we need to consult if one of our alternatives are something that would impact our health significantly? Say you want to get medication to improve a mental health area or mental well-being area and aspect of your life. What are the pros and the cons of that? What are the pros? And then, do we need to consult a healthcare or another professional to help us with one of the alternatives that we're looking at? Now, I always fall back to the plus or minus decision-making strategy that my dad taught my sisters and I when we were little girls. But pros and cons is just a little bit more professional way of doing it. Like if I was in corporate America, depending on the team I was working with and who I was working with, would be whether I shared the plus and minus tool with them or the pros and cons tool. Pros and cons tool, I just like to take each of the options that I've selected and do at least 3 things that are for it, and then 3 things that would be against it. So let's say I'm looking at meditation. Well, meditation I do anyway. Let's say I'm looking at hypnosis. Maybe I want to do something with hypnosis to improve my positive self-talk, right? Instead of getting rid of my negative self-talk. I want to focus on what I want, improving my self-talk. So I could look at hypnosis. What are the pros for hypnosis? What are the cons for hypnosis? Depends on the type of hypnosis you go to, right? Am I going to go to a hypnotist, or am I going to go online and find some, and I guarantee I could Google or YouTube positive self-talk, and I could probably get hundreds, if not thousands of sessions on positive self-talk hypnosis for free, probably for free, or paid apps. I actually happen to have a paid app called Hip Talk from Victoria Gallagher that I use every day. I think it's got to be 500 and got to be close to 600 days in a row now of me doing that, because I like the hypnosis. I like to go to sleep to them. I like to wake up to them. It's a positive voice and message in my head every single day when I go to sleep, and every night when I go to sleep, and every morning when I sleep. So if you're doing something like that, whether it's paid or free, what are the pros of that? Well, if it's free, that's a pro, right? Cons, sometimes that con is the same thing, that it's free, and so it's not as good a quality as it could be if it weren't free, if it were a paid version, right? So we're going to do 3 pros, 3 cons for each of our 3 options. Then we're going to select one of those based on, does it match my goals? How does it match and line up with my preferences and what feels right to me? And do I need to consult a healthcare professional or not? Chances are, if I feel like the alternative is I got to ask someone else or consult a healthcare professional, that's not going to be the alternative I select today, because I'm going to select something today that I can do at least a tiny step toward immediately. Like as soon as I decide, I'm going to do that. So if I were to decide, yep, I'm going to do hypnosis, I would stop what I was doing and I would go listen to a hypnosis right now. So I have no excuses for not actually taking action on the commitment that I made to myself that I was going to take action on this. All right, that's it. I hope this is clear. If it isn't, ask questions. That's what I'm here for. Otherwise, do this. See how it's actually really fun to realize that you have options, you have alternatives. There's lots of different ways you can approach each of the different options. But the important thing is to pick something that you'll act on now and that you will feel good about, right? And that works for you, because all of us are different. All right, that's it. Have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.